Tomorrow is the day Manchester United is going to be playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium that capacitates 62,850 people. Welcome to United Matters channel. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? This is the big match preview between Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur. Remember, last season we first played them at Old Trafford. That game ended by 2-0. I think it was Fred and Bruno Fernandes. That game will never be forgotten because that's the game that Ronaldo started to show his impatience with Erik ten Hag, and like he wanted to cut ties in between him and Manchester United. And as Erik ten Hag told him to walk on the field of play to play some 8 minutes, Ronaldo walked from the dugout to the tunnel of Manchester United, and he was suspended, and he never took part in the game that we played away at Chelsea that ended 1-1 when Casemiro really scored late. That is what I can remind you about this fixture. And the return leg that we played at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was one of those that we anticipated we were going to win because Marcus Rashford scoring, and who else? I think we scored 2 goals in the first half, and I think the first half ended 2-0. Then we returned, Harry Kane scored, and Pedro Porro equalized, I think, around the 80th minute, and we managed to really get a point from that side. So we are going to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium again, and that's where everything is going to be happening tomorrow at 19:30 hours as Erik ten Hag plans obviously collect his second win of the season. As I told you that we never really had a very good game against Wolverhampton Wanderers, but all I can take is we started off a better season than we did last season. Remember, last season we are playing badly and we lost. This season we played badly and we won our first game. Remember, the first game we played was against Brighton last season and we lost by 2-1. This time round we've gone ahead to win, and it's always good to win when you're playing badly because I know our team will improve as the season goes on because our manager is the student of the game. He always learns on the job and he always makes the necessary changes that are really required into his fixture. But the only big hinge is Mason Mount to me. Mason Mount. And I believe he's not going to drop the caliber of a player of Mason Mount. He's going to keep picking the player, see to it that he gets him to where he's supposed to be, as this signing has to make sense to the bosses of Manchester United. Let's see close to 400 likes much in this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokan David is my name, and this is your beautiful channel, your United Matters channel. Let's continue to subscribe, see to it that we hit 16,000 subscribers, because we just hit 15,000 subscribers and we can only reach that level because of you. Now, when we go to the team news, who is absent for Manchester United? It's Kobe Menu, Tom Heaton, Tyrell Malacia, and Amad Diallo. Those 4 are really out of action. But who is back? Dean Henderson, Anton Martial. He even took part into the closed door game that we played against Everton, and United won that game by 2-0 with Scott McTominay being onto the score sheet. Now, when you look at Anje Postecoglou, who is aiming to see it that Christian Romero gets back because he got a head injury after scoring an open against Brentford. That is the fellow Argentine teammate to Lisandro Martinez. Then Richarlison is being looked at to lead the line, and the other players are supposed to be out. Fraser Forster is out, and Vicario is also out. Sorry, Vicario is going to start in goal, and Dombele is also returning. But Ryan Sessegnon, Rodrigo Bentancur, and Bryan Gil are all out of action. But that means we're really going to be having a very huge game to watch. It's really going to be enticing. Ange Postecoglou's first home game at Tottenham Hotspur. The stadium is going to be buzzing. I've seen people going in for predictions as draws. I'm going to come and give you my prediction, but all I want to tell you is that this is going to be a very huge fixture because there are certain things you need to know. Tottenham is trying to go back to the basics of being one of the highly possession sides, but that chemistry has not yet built or instilled deeply into the team of Tottenham Hotspur. So Manchester United needs to capitalize onto this. Ten Hag might really decide to sit back while playing a high line and obviously hit them on the break. That is it. And in our records, Spurs has not been a team that has gone ahead to obviously be what we call a bogey side. We've gone ahead to beat Spurs for very many times. We've gone ahead to find it, and I anticipate that we are going to obviously get ourselves going into this fixture and obviously see what Ten Hag is obviously going to do. Now, let's go into our predicted starting 11 that we think Ten Hag is going to bring on and obviously see how your thoughts are really going to be about this fixture of Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur. When you look at the system, it's a 4-2-3-1, you know. That's the fare that Ten Hag is taking to London. And when you look at the goalkeeper, obviously Andre Onana, most of you appreciated his efforts during that beautiful game of football, though there was a controversy towards the end of the game, as some people called it a penalty, and even the referees department went on to apologize to the player that would have gone ahead to be a penalty. But I believe he had a very good game, best ball distribution and best ball stopping. His command was really elite, and I think he's really going to find himself in a position of obviously starting. On the right back, I think it's going to be Aaron Wan-Bissaka starting on the right back of Manchester United as we take on this side called Tottenham Hotspur down in what we call the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. He had a very beautiful game, registered an assist, and I like the way he's improving in his forward game, because in that game of Wolverhampton Wanderers that played at Old Trafford, he put in 3 crosses into the Tina's box area, one that even resulted into a penalty claim for Man United after he found Marcus Rashford and headed the ball onto the hand of Semedo, and the VAR said no. So to my understanding, it's really something great. Sorry about that. For Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and I think he's going to start into that position. He put up an assist too that really saw us get that own goal, that saw us win against Tottenham, against Wolverhampton Wanderers. So if at all he can obviously get us like 10 assists this season, I think that will be something great, because we've seen the trends making it. And when you look at the way we are really playing, he's being invited so much into play by the boys of Man United. So I believe Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to have a fantastic season as he competes with Diego Dalot. Then on the left back, it's going to be Luke Shaw. He played 90 minutes versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, though he had a yellow card, and he controlled himself very, very well. I really enjoyed the way he played. Defensively, he put in some solid blocks for the club of Manchester United, and he saved us from some horrific outcomes out of the attacks of Wolverhampton Wanderers. That is Luke Shaw. And in the central defense, I anticipate that it's going to be Varane on the right side of central defense, who scored the only goal that saw us win the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers, and he put up a solid defense and he commanded that game very well. On the left side of the central defense, Casemiro Martinez, those stories came out and said that he really had a tendon injury, but that was really a lie. He was just taken off for preservation to see to it that he doesn't get a red card. Remember, he got a yellow card around the 30th minute of the game after Anthony put in a very stupid pass that Wolverhampton Wanderers capitalized on and obviously went ahead to attack us. So he's back, he's not injured, and I know Erik ten Hag is going to consider him up for selection into that fixture away at Tottenham Hotspur. So that is the back four of Man United. And for Luke Shaw, I would like to see him do a lot of what he does in every game. I would like to see him put in close to 5 crosses every half. That is 10 crosses per game. And the same thing is being tasked to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We need 10 crosses or cutbacks or anything, or 10 deliveries, from the right back of Man United and the left back. If I can get 20 in a game, that means out of those 20, we can at least get 2 goals or 3. That is it. So that's how we should really increase on the supply of the balls or goals of Manchester United this season. We need to see our fullbacks really improving on their creativity. And we've seen Bissaka doing it for the club of Manchester United. And obviously, that is what we calling for. We go to the double pivot of Man United. Obviously, it's going to be Casemiro alongside who? Alongside Mason Mount, a man that really had a very bad debut at Old Trafford, and I think Ten Hag is going to insist starting him in these games because he doesn't want to obviously give media talking points, because TalkSport went ahead and obviously came out and obviously said he put out 0 passes, 0 tackles, 0 interceptions, 0 shots on target. Everything was 0, and his brother came out and obviously attacked them. But I think the brother of Mason Mount is doing a very wrong job. He just has to tell his brother that, please, ashame them by going on the field of play and performing better when you're playing Spurs. That is it, because every player is as good as his last 90 minutes. And the 70 minutes that Mason Mount played at Old Trafford were really abysmal. He put up a show that was really, really horrific. And he needs to look down through that game and obviously get to know that he can perform better. And you're going to face a midfield that has, is it Højbjerg? And I think it's not Højbjerg. It's Yefis Bissouma fighting to get back to his full levels. And they also play, I think, a double pivot, because when you look at the game they played against Brentford, and they drew 2-2. They had Yefis Bissouma and skip into the double pivot, meaning that we are going to face those players. And I think this midfield of Casemiro can easily win this midfield, though Yefis Bissouma is soon getting to where he deserves to be. Now, Casemiro, I think he was isolated. That's why you saw to it that the midfield was obviously porous, but we need another second body, and I think Mason Mount should obviously go ahead and obviously do the needful. If Atoll doesn't perform very well in this fixture, then he's going to raise a lot of eyebrows for the fans of Man United, the haters, and the media is going to go for him too. So that's why for me I believe it's better to put Bruno Fernandes at our pivot and obviously take Mason Mount into the central attack midfield area or play as a right winger. Then Bruno Fernandes is going to play as the central attacking midfielder from Man United, and you saw what he did in the game of Wolverhampton Wanderers. Amidst his ashaming display, he found that secondary assist that saw Bissaka find Varane in the mouth of the goal to head that ball into the back of the net. Then I see Anthony starting as a right attacking midfielder for Man United. Alejandro Garnacho had a bad game because his end product to his game was really poor. But for Anthony, he was the worst player in the field of play. Him and Mason Mount were the 2 worst players on the field of play as we played Wolverhampton Wanderers. And I think it's high time he upped his game, because criticism is raising and Mason Greenwood is on his way back to Man United. And when he comes in through, Anthony won't have space to obviously breathe. Then, who is leading the line? With Anton Martial playing some minutes in the game of Everton that was really behind closed doors on Monday. Also on Tuesday at Old Trafford. And being on the bench against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Will Erik ten Hag consider him to start against Tottenham Hotspur? I think he's going to come off the bench, and it's going to be his other affair, and it's going to be Marcus Rashford leading the line. Though it doesn't look good when Marcus Rashford is leading the line, and we pray to it that Rasmus Højlund also heals enough such that we have to center forwards, because I want to see Marcus Rashford for the very first time competing for the left attacking midfield area of Manchester United. You know, Rashford has had what we call a smooth pass at Man United. Under Jose Mourinho, he had no competitor off that side. When Alex Sanchez came in through, obviously couldn't outcompete Marcus Rashford, and ever since then, he has been in his own island. Now, I want Anton Martial and Rasmus Højlund to be fully fit. Martial is fit. Rasmus Højlund is on his way to his full fitness. And I want to see them really tussle for this. Rashford versus Garnacho. That's when you're going to see these players giving us the best of their game. Garnacho won't put in performances like he did last time because the end product of his game was really poor. That is it. He put out some good blind passes, and Marcus Rashford also looked bad. So I want both to compete for the left attacking side midfield area of the pitch. Now, when you look at that system, you'll obviously look out for Anthony to be facing Udogi, and Garnacho to be facing Emerson Royal. That is it. Then, when you look at Kulusevski, he's going to be facing Aaron Bissaka. For that, you'll obviously know that Bissaka will win the battle. Song Heung-min versus Kulusevski is going to be facing Luke Shaw, and Song Heung-min is going to be facing Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think we can win that. And Richarlison leading the line, I think it can easily be contained if at all we cut off the supply from that midfield, but it's going to be a highly contesting game. But our midfield needs to improve and act better than how we played against that side of Wolverhampton Wanderers. This time around, we're going to play away from home. It's one of those teams that we never lost to last season. That is it. And we have to want to get a win, because last season we needed to win that game by 2 goals, but we gifted away 2 stupid goals, and we saw ourselves losing that beautiful fixture. So, to my understanding, I call upon your thoughts and predictions into the comment section below. But I think we're winning this game by 3-1. That is it. 3-1 is my prediction, because I've seen people not downplaying our chances to win, meaning that Ten Hag is going to go with the same mentality and attitude that we displayed at Old Trafford. The first game was really a checker in. We got the 3 points, and Ten Hag is not going to obviously allow that complacency on the field of play. 3-1 is my prediction, but as look at the team, if I were Erik Ten Hag, I would have gone ahead to change this team. But I've gone ahead to give you the team that I believe Erik Ten Hag is going to really be bringing onto the field of play. If I was Erik Ten Hag, I would have gone ahead to play Casemiro, Eriksson, in the double pivot. Then Bruno Fernandes as a central attack midfielder, and the right attack midfielder would have been Mason Mount, because I think he can offer us a lot while playing on the wide sides of the midfield area. So that's what I had for you. Tell me your thoughts about this beautiful game of football. Rokan David remains my name. Do you think we are going to win our 2nd consecutive game at the beginning of the season? I sign out for now. See you later. I cover you all with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. My Muslim viewers and subscribers, Barak Laufikum and Juma Karim. I'm out.